Hey there, Rick with Tools for Boards here again today to show you how to saturate a ski or a snowboard base with wax. So base saturation is important because it protects the base and it also allows you to fully cover the base, and then in turn you can put harder layers of wax on top of the base wax to harden the base if the conditions are colder. Or if they're within a warmer range, you can typically just use the base saturation wax as your wax of the day. So I'm going to take a ski. I'll place it in our fixed symmetric vise. Okay, this is our top of the line vise for holding skis. I'll use a retained brake retractor, looping it around both brake arms, okay, to retract the base, to retract the brake. And then, effectively, what I'm going to do is, assuming the ski is clean, has been cleaned, I have a cleaning video that you can review if you need information on that. But we're going to use the buff hard brass brush in order to structure the base, reopen the structure. So I'll take the brass brush and I'll make a few passes down the length of the base with the brass in order to open it. Okay. Putting the structure, reopening the structure in the base allows the base to glide, and it minimizes the effect of suction. So having the structure exposed basically allows water, a conduit, so that it can travel down the length of the base and out the back end of the ski. If you don't have structure in the base, if it's shiny, it'll act like two panes of glass with water in between, and you can't move them very easily. That's the suction effect. So I'm going to use the brass brush to eliminate that, or to minimize the effect of suction. Okay, and you can use some elbow grease when you're brushing. Just make sure that you're brushing in a linear fashion down the length of the base. So after I finish brushing, I'm then going to use Briko-Maplus Soft Base. That's our base saturation material, and this is the base of our system. So we're always applying soft base regardless of what wax we're using in order to first saturate the base. So I'm going to take the bar. We have our stowaway flat pack wax iron. The handle folds down, and then you can see the indicator here. There's a thermostat. When you turn the temperature higher, the light will come on. Okay, that indicates that the iron's heating. Once it reaches temperature, the iron goes off. So for this material, we're going to want to keep it at around 120 to 130 degrees Celsius. And then I'm going to apply the wax by dripping it down one side of the base, okay, to the end, and then I'm going to come back on the other side of the base. And I'll finish by dripping a bit of wax down the middle. Okay, once I've finished doing that, I'll start at the shovel, and I'm just going to smear the wax across the width of the base, keeping the iron moving. It's really important to keep the iron moving to prevent damaging the base or the ski. If you leave the iron in one place, it can overheat and it can actually damage the skis or the snowboard, so you don't want to do that. So I'm just basically moving, keeping the iron moving, and I'm ironing in the wax across the entire width of the ski. Okay, once I've finished doing that, I'm going to go back to the front, and I'm going to draw the iron slowly down the length of the base, usually about, let's say, 7 to 8 seconds per pass. Okay, down the entire length of the base. If the wax is smoking, the iron is too hot, you want to turn the iron down. Ideally, you want about 4 to 6 inches behind, trailing the iron where the wax begins to solidify, and you'll know that that's the ideal temperature range. This iron has a concave shape, so I'm drawing the iron sideways down the length of the base. and that'll allow the wax to be channeled towards the center of the base as opposed to be pushed off the sides. So I'll make one more pass here. I'm going to make as many passes as required so that the underside, the top sheet of the ski, is warm to the touch. Okay, and then my ironing is complete. I'll set the iron down and turn it off. Actually, I'll go away for about 10 to 15 minutes to allow the wax to harden and the ski to cool. Now after 10 to 15 minutes, I'll come back. Instead of scraping the base material, the soft base, off the ski, I want to basically reheat it. The more you can reheat the wax into the base, the more coverage you get. Okay, you're not going to get more penetration. You'll only get 15 microns of penetration of wax into a high molecular weight sintered base, but you will get more coverage if you reheat the wax several times. So as much as practical, maybe 3, 4, 5 times. Reheating the wax, going away for 15 minutes, allowing the wax to harden, come back, reheat the wax again. Also, make sure that you're waxing in an environment that's room temperature. You don't want to be waxing a cold ski or waxing outside where the ski is cold. You're not going to maximize your saturation. So, assuming that I've done this a number of times, okay, I've saturated the base, I'm going to now put the iron away and I'll scrape. So the wax isn't hard in this demonstration, but assuming that 10 or 15 minutes have gone by, I'm now going to scrape the wax off the base. Okay, making several passes using a sharp plexi scraper. Okay, this is our Tools for Boards plexi snowboard scraper. It also works for skis. Or you can use a dedicated ski scraper, which is smaller. It's not as wide, and it's not as thick. So what I'm doing is I'm just removing all of the excess material from the surface of the base. Okay. With light pressure, you don't want to apply too much pressure. You'll actually damage the structure of the ski. And then once I've removed all the wax, I'll make a couple passes down each edge just to make sure that I've removed the wax from the side edge. I use the end of the scraper to do that. Okay. And now you're ready to start brushing the base, okay, and using your series of brushes, starting with brass typically, because that's the first brush after waxing, to reopen the structure, followed by a hard horsehair and a soft nylon, usually. And then once you've done that, you can now reapply wax if the conditions are colder and you need to harden the base, or if the conditions are -5 to 0 degrees snow temperature, you can use this material as is, go out and enjoy your day. That's it. For more information, go to toolsforboards.com. Thank you.